running into thousands of pounds just for flights and everything, but they did want me to say thank you all for coming, or fine of you, and they hope that you enjoy the film, and if you do like what you see, then please leave a review for them to find. And then I think the other thanks I've got to give is to Manchester Pride, who have paid for this to be put on. So thanks very much, and enjoy The Right to Love.
So, yeah, that was my introduction to the first screening that we had out of the two, and it was, I can't even describe to you where to begin with the day. Basically, for those of you who don't know, we were doing the screening of The Right to Love, An American Family. I was the one to bring it over, and that was... This is going to sound really weird, but it was done on a kind of like a selfish basis because I wanted to see the film so badly. I was like, you know what, screw it. If I've got to put a screening on, it's got to be done. I want to see this film. So we go along to the theatre. This is months ago, and we arranged that, you know, we're hiring the theatre for 8 hours at a time anyway, so we might as well have two screenings, and then obviously if it is popular, then we've got, you know, plenty of seats to go around, and obviously two screenings. But it didn't kind of work out that way. The ticket sales weren't going really well, to be honest with you, but it was kind of weird how that actually worked out in the end anyway. On the actual day, well, let me just explain this to you. The day before the screening is when I got the copy of the film, but I had that many other things going on. I didn't actually have time to watch the film. It was kind of like, oh my god, I've got this. I've got a lovely letter off the director and, you know, the rest of the crew at Jaybird Productions, and that's really nice and everything, but it's got to go to one side. I've got this to do. I was just so busy. So I didn't actually have time to watch the film, and me, Tala, and a friend of mine, Sean, we were all going off to watch the film together, like using the free seats. So we'd planned that obviously we've got the screening at 4 o'clock. The type of file format that the film was put on the DVD is a format that the producers actually don't put the film into normally, because obviously their films, the screenings of the film up to now have only been in America. So they wanted to make sure that this was going to work over here on our DVD players. So I was like, okay, well, so we'll get to the theatre for 3 o'clock, and we'll be able to run through the film dead quick, make sure it all works, fine, we're good to go. So in order to do that, we have to leave mine at about 1 o'clock. Well, my friend Sean leaves hers at 1 o'clock, and cutting a long story short, kind of the journey there was just traumatic. It's the only way I can put it. We hit so many things, like the roadworks. They added, oh my god, just such a long time onto our journey. Then, of course, we come to the train station, and they've changed how what stations the trains stop at. So we're just like, oh my god. So we carry on as best we can, but you know, I'm ringing the theatre like every half hour going, I am going to be late, I'm dead sorry, but there isn't anything I can do about this, I'm just really, really sorry. We got to the first station in Manchester where we had to swap trains at 3 minutes to 4, so we're just like, yeah, we're going to be a bit late. We then tried to ring a taxi from the train station to take us to the theatre, and there was none in the area, so we're just like, oh no. So we go into another station, which is further in Manchester, in the hope that we'll either be able to get a taxi or the bus from that station. Well, for those of you who live in Manchester, you'll know that Deansgate is kind of like a deserted station. It's really pointless in actually existing, but hey-ho, whatever. We get off at Deansgate and we go down, there are no buses, there are no taxis, and we're just like, right, what on earth do we do? We end up ringing the theatre and saying, do you guys have a taxi or a minibus or something that can come and pick us up? Well, in the end, it took a woman from Manchester Pride to leave the theatre, come over to the train station to get us, and then bring us back to the theatre so the screening can actually go ahead. So, I mean, we didn't actually start until, oh my god, like 4:45 sort of time. So that speech that you saw at the beginning of the video, that was me, like, still panting because I'd just been running through the theatre, like, throwing the copies of the film into the projection room at the back and being like, right, you put that on, give me the microphone, let's get the people in, let's get the screening going. Excuse me. And, yeah, so it wasn't really the greatest speech. Plus, the first screening, we actually only had 5 people in for, so it wasn't a massive audience either. And to be honest with you, none of them seemed to mind too much that, you know, we were going to be that late. So the first screening goes on, we finish that, and I'll come on to what I think of the film in just a little bit. But, yeah, so we we come out, and I'm just like, right, I've not had a cigarette in like 4 hours. I'm really stressed out. I'm gonna go for a smoke. I go outside, and literally when I come in 5 minutes later, there's people already turning up for the 7:30 screening. So we get talking to them a little bit, and then more people turn up, and more and more and more. And I think the final figures were like kind of about 50-ish people that actually came to see the film for the second screening. And I kind of felt more confident. We got people into the screening about 7:30. I managed to do a speech, and because we hadn't really got a good opening speech, my friend said, you know, I will video the second screening speech that you do to start with, and then obviously if you're going to do one afterwards, I can video that as well. Well, we got into the theatre and we said we'll sit on the front row because we've got more leg room, but it turns out it didn't really work out. They sat on the front row, but where my friend was sat next to me, the chair that she was going to sit on was broken. So they had to move over to the other side of the theatre on the front row and sit there. So, like, by the time they'd gotten all the bags together and moved over, I'd already finished a speech, like the film was just about to start. So we didn't really get to see that. But we did get the video of me doing kind of like the ending speech. So what you guys are about to see now is the credits and the end speech.
And that is The Right to Love, everyone. My last thing to say is please do go and follow them on YouTube. It's the Det Fox channel. I know related to this film, one of the videos they put up a couple of months ago was saying about the first ever screening of the film in America, and they kind of forgot that they brought Selena along with her, so when it got to the scene about the tooth fairy, she's kind of like dreams ruined. But yeah, do have a look for them, and thank you all very much for coming along, and we'll see you soon.
So that was the outro speech, and yeah, she did get a little sneaky peek of the film there, with the credits at the end and everything, so that was really good. Yeah, so like I was really happy that it kind of all came together at the end. I mean, the icing on the cake would have been if it had sold out, but it didn't. So, you know what, I was just impressed enough with myself anyway. And it was even better because, you know, you get people coming up to you and they're giving you compliments, and they're just like, you know, we live over here, we didn't think we were going to get to see the film, so thank you for bringing it over. And you're just like, well, that's me that's done that. So yeah, I was kind of happy with that. The film itself, I can't really put it into words. I mean, for starters, I found just a whole new love for Brian's grandmother. And you'll see why when you watch the film, because she's just brilliant. And if you've seen the film before and you already know what I'm talking about, the bit where they explain the voting to her, oh my god, that is like one of my favourite scenes in the whole movie. I just wanted to give her a really big hug. I don't know, it was just a really, really good film. And I think that, you know, people say about like, well, you know, what kind of audience is it targeted at? Well, it genuinely doesn't matter. You know, it's got points for kind of everyone, really, you know. I mean, I'm like open with my voice, you know, I'll promote anything I can, but it surprised me with some of the stuff that was in it. So yeah, it is a really good film, guys. You've got to go and see it, and obviously it's hopefully coming out soon on Netflix as well, which will be even better. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I will leave this video up, and when it comes out on Netflix, I'll put the links below in the description part of the video. So keep your eye on there, and I will try and get it out to you as soon as I can. My final bit to say would be that, you know, there's certain people who were involved, like, helping me to put the screening on, and without their help, like, I genuinely wouldn't have been able to do it. And obviously my first thanks goes to Jay and Brian. They were just a massive help, you know, all the way through, and they were kind of like using their own experience to teach me what to do, if that makes sense. You know, like, one of the things was, like I'd said, oh, you know, I've booked the theatre, so-and-so, blah, 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 it's all done. And Joe was like, okay, well, now you need to go and get a licence for the film, contact blah, 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 that's her email address and all this sort of stuff. It was just really helpful. So Jay and Brian, a massive thank you for helping me to get it on. The next people is Cassie, and I think her name's Nina, and just everyone at Jaybird Productions. They were just the nicest people to be able to deal with. And, you know, when they first got back in touch with me and they said, okay, well, we've got several different types of license, you know, this is how much they cost and all this sort of stuff. And I emailed them back and I said, well, you know, I don't actually have the money to spend on that much on a license sort of thing. And they were like, okay, strike a deal with us, you know, like, what can you afford sort of thing. So, you know, it was really down to them that we actually got this film the go-ahead to go. So, yeah, they were massive help, so thank you all very much to them. Obviously, Manchester Pride, from the moment I contacted them, they were just as enthusiastic as I was about wanting to get this film put on over here. They put an awful lot of money into it. They've really, really helped with the advertising, and, you know, I think they've been as excited as I have about wanting this film to be on. So, you know, it was just, it was an unbelievable help to have them on board with me and working with me to try and get this film shown. My final thanks is to the Z Arts Theatre itself, where we actually had the screenings. Their help was, again, unbelievable. You know, they did their own advertising for us. They dealt with the tickets. They helped us so much on the day. You know, each and every member of staff, every step of the way, has been in contact with me and keeping me up to date with things, and they're just, again, the nicest people that you could want to meet. So a massive thank you to Z Arts as well. And that's kind of it. That is my experience of Right to Love. For those of you who are wondering if I would do it again, I genuinely don't know if I'd be insane enough to do it again, but I'm not saying no, but I'm not quite saying yes either. Yeah, so that's it. So thank you very much to everyone involved, and I hope to see you all again sometime soon.